It's all for play for still.
I think so. Do you want to bet against us?
Hello, Aston Villa fans, and welcome to For the Love of Paul McGrath podcast. And look, when the good times are good, let's keep on talking about them. And I know that a lot of you guys have messaged me since I did my final whistle podcast yesterday, going, love to know what Paddy thought of that game. So, ask and you shall receive. The one for Paddy Kelly is with us again tonight, and he's going to give his synopsis, I suppose, of Aston Villa's brilliant comeback 2-1 win versus Spurs yesterday. Yeah.
Where do you want me to start?
Start at the start if you want to, Paddy. You can start 5 minutes into the game if you want.
Yeah, well, I think, and I think the grounding is important, and the fact that we conceded that goal and a poor goal to give away keeps us grounded, and it keeps the team on their toes because we know we're capable of that. I think if we were going out and winning 2 and 3-0 every week, it would just seem a bit easy and we get complacent. So it's no harm in us having to dig deep and pull a result from behind, away from one of the perceived big six. And let's face it, the referee treated them like they were one of the big six, and he was absolutely pitiful. And a shadow of the referee that was once the best referee in the championship. But that's what happens when PGMOL elevate you to their celebrity status and make an absolute idiot out of you. So there you go. That was the start of the game anyway. But yeah, look, we discussed what was going to happen with regards to the team. There was a lot of interchangeability around that tree in behind Marlon, which I liked. There was a lot of hard work in there. We saw great work from Gesson. We saw great work from McGinn. We saw flashes of what Rodgers can do, and we saw that brilliant goal just after I called him out on Twitter. I think a grand total of 90 seconds after me saying, sorry, Rodgers, there's a passenger here. He puts the ball in the back of the net, and that's what he's capable of. And look, I'm delighted for him, absolutely delighted for him, and I'm happy to eat my words if that's the case. We want them to do well, even though we're well within our rights to say he's not having a great season. But let's hope that that's the kickstart and the kick up the arse that he needed. And just a reminder of what he can do, albeit I thought the keeper was poor for that goal. I thought his positional was all over the place, and he just left it wide open for him to have a go. And by God, was I delighted that the ball hit the back of the net.
And it was some strike. It was a real knuckleball as well. Like, there was fury behind that. I think, obviously, look, if the goalkeeper's standing directly behind it, he saves that. But I think from where the goalkeeper's position was, it was fine. But, that ball was past him before he even realised it was hit. There was venom in that, and it moved an awful lot when you see the angle from behind the goal. So, and I think Morgan Rodgers had a much better game after that. Spurs needed to foul him, needed to bring him down. Those late kind of lazy kind of run behind his legs kind of tackles that Arsenal actually have become really good at it as well, and they do an awful lot of that after corners as well, when teams are trying to get out from corners and stuff like that, and they actually assign people to do it. I read an interesting article on it, or interesting tweet on it as well. It was a thread with regards to what Arsenal do with corners, which is obviously very effective as well. So hopefully, as you said yourself there, that this will be a big turning point for Morgan Rodgers, and the consistency comes back into his game. Maybe we see that again against Go Ahead Eagles on Thursday night in the Europa League, if he is fit to play, or if he's fit to play, but if he's deemed to be a starter, to stay.
I think he will. I do believe, as we see him at Marlon, he's a man who likes to encourage people when they're doing well. So I envisage we will see Morgan Rodgers on Monday night, and on Thursday night, and I'll be very happy to see so. And look, it's all looking rosy in the garden. I was on the Aussie podcast over the weekend, and
Yes.
Spud asked me Spud asked me how many points we'd get out of the next 3 games, and I was trying to be realistic and trying to not be full of hopium, and I said 5 points out of the 3 games. We already have 3, so and we've had Man City's number over the last couple of years. We've done very well against them, so especially at home. So why not hope for another 3 points this weekend? And it's great to be in this kind of form at this point where we haven't let that big group get out of touching distance. Now, don't get me wrong, we go and lose the next 2 games, there could be a few teams out of touching distance. But look, we're on their coattails now. We're on the up. We're playing well. It was an enjoyable performance. Taking out, probably about 20 minutes of the game where I thought we looked like we were under pressure, but we never really looked. I thought after the first goal went in, I know Martinez made a couple of saves. One of them was possibly going wide. One particular save with his foot I thought was excellent. But other than that, they didn't create big chances where you're really worried about it.
Yeah, and that's been even when teams have come and created big chances against Villa, like you look at the Feyenoord game, Villa defended resolutely. We didn't defend resolutely for the goal we conceded. What did you make of the goal we conceded? I see an awful lot, this is a hill I'm going to die on as well in regards to this, because I think I'm the only person I've seen anyone talk about what my thoughts on this. Well, obviously I'm the only person who talk about my thoughts, but I've not seen anyone mention anything about my one thing I noticed in the corner, which I think is bonkers stuff. But a lot of people talking about Onana picking up that ball, that straight ball from Martinez, playing it out to that right hand side, leaves it short. Konza and was it Xavi Simons went for it at that stage, and it goes out, goes for the corner. Obviously, the corner then is whipped in and it's cleared. Second ball comes back in, header from the back post, and Bentancur is just standing on the penalty spot. It's like a goal we've seen Villa score quite a lot in Unai Emery's tenure. What was your view on that?
Whatever about the first ball, I was bitterly disappointed with the second ball that nobody, like even Rodgers on the back post, I thought, jump and make a nuisance of yourself. Even if you're not getting there, you might block a ball back across the goal. He never even went for it. He was completely lost underneath it. And he's probably one of the last men you wanted in that position at the back post. But look, it was a sloppy goal. I would imagine it goes straight at Emi Martinez, only it hits Onana on the way in as well. So they got a big stroke of luck, I thought, in it. But look, it is an eye opener. It shows that we are vulnerable, and we've got to be more careful. Especially, you mentioned Onana there. It all came from, I don't want to say sloppy pass, but it was an under pressure pass which he probably could have done better with. Or maybe he shouldn't have been put under that kind of pressure in that situation. Maybe it was time to lump one down the pitch. Instead, he left the ball a little bit short and ended up in conceding the corner from it.
Yeah, there was quite a lot wrong. So Onana's pass was short. That's the easy one to go to. But the corner was cleared. The second ball that comes out, I think if Gassand is wearing rocket boots, I don't think he can get to it. He should have made more of an effort. It reminded me of the effort people did or didn't make to get out to that ball against Stevenage when they scored that stoppage time winner to beat us in the FA Cup. But for me, and I've said it before, and for those that maybe didn't see the final whistle, really, please go back and watch this again. Luca Dean is at that back post area. He's not in the Morgan Rogers space, but he's closer towards the penalty area and infield. And the second the corner is cleared, he makes this run out to the right back to Pedro Porro. I think it was Pedro Porro, whoever's playing the right back position, that didn't have that was never going to get the ball, not in a million years. And even if he gets the ball, by the time the ball gets across there, everybody can come out. So it was never going to him. He makes this kamikaze run and just literally sprints out of the box. And where he was standing is exactly where that second ball header comes back into. And Bentancur comes onto it. Bentancur makes his way into that position. Then the ball comes back across and goes in. And it's those fine details, because the reason I'm so bullish about this, and the reason that I'm I'm repeating myself on this. I said it on Twitter. I've said it in the post-match, and I'm saying it again today, is because Aston Villa's strategy for crosses to the back post since Aston McPhee has probably been at the club is it's Emi Martinez or nothing. If Emi Martinez doesn't get to it, we have to be ready for that second ball to come back across the box. It's like you watch every single corner. If that ball beats Martinez to the back post, it's consternation. If we saw it actually in this game, there was a good example of it. A corner came in, Martinez comes to it, missed it. Rodgers is at the back post again, and it could have just as easily hit off Rodgers and went in for an own goal. It seems to be it's a specific tactic that the back post has to be kept clear for Martinez to get to it. When he doesn't get to it, in that instance, the second ball comes into play. But Digne had already Digne was like 15, 20 yards, or like it was about 10 yards, I'd say, outside the penalty area. By the time that second ball comes in, he just makes a beeline for this guy for whatever reason, and he was in that area. So I'm not saying that he's exactly at fault for the goal, but I'm saying that there's less of a chance. Like that ball gets headed across, he's going to block that ball that was there. So it's those tiny little details in the first 5 minutes of games that Unai Emery will want to scrub out. We'll want to stop happening. We want to stop us going 1-0 down, because we're a formidable animal when we go 1-0 up against teams. And I'm sure Unai Emery doesn't want us to have to come back from 1-0 down, because we are not great at it in a lot of situations. So that's just why I'm being pernickety. That's why I'm being a bit bullish about this one. Is for me, it was very obvious, and it's something that I think that when they look back at that, they'll go, oh, yeah, what was going on here? Like, you know, so.
And we have a set piece coach for that kind of thing. So is he being told to make that run in the event of a ball being cleared? Does he see that that's the danger? Is it him that needs to be closed down? Is that what Aston McPhee tells him to do when the ball is cleared? We'll never know that. But you just got to play devil's advocate with it. As I say, when people start going, oh, why are we passing the ball backwards? Why are we passing the ball sideways? Why are we not going forward? That's because they are told to do that. So there is a strong possibility. As we all know, at this level of the game, it's called the light switch. When the ball is cleared, when we've broke with the ball, the light switch has to be flicked. Where should you be? Where are you? How quick can you get yourself there? That's the way it works at this level of the game. So who told Luca Dean to get out there, or was it something he done himself? Either way.
And that's exactly, you're right there, Paddy. The triggers that people have for pressing and the triggers that they don't, you know. Maybe Luca Dean took a look and maybe didn't see that the header was going out to another Spurs player. Maybe he thought that there was a Villa player. Maybe he thought that Matty Cash was running onto it there. Dean was getting out to be that intermediate player so that Rodgers could come around the outside of him. There's a lot of ifs and buts in that, and all very valid pieces of context that we will never know. But as I say, it's one thing that probably needs to be brushed up on. And talk about Matty Cash, Paddy. Matty Cash gets Man of the Match award yesterday. Watching the game back, I thought during the game, I think in the direct aftermath, I said Matty Cash was really solid again today. When I watched it back again, I thought he was better than solid. What did you make of his performance yesterday?
That's happened to me a few times this season, and when I went to the Burnley game, the night before, I stayed with Mark and Emma Wood, and we watched back the Feyenoord game, and I'm like, this was better than I remember it being in the flesh at the game.
I remember you texted me after the match, and I was going, that's a completely different game, lad.
So I watched it back and just in disbelief, because sometimes the emotion can get the better of you as well when you're watching the game.
Paddy, the Belgian or the
either
Dutch
on the telly. Yeah, if you're watching it on the telly or in person, it can happen. So sometimes when you know the result and you watch it back, you watch it with a less cloudier vision, and you're not cloudy. Your mind isn't clouded by maybe a bad pass, which has led you to believe that he didn't have a great game, or he should have went and won that header, or he should have done this, he should have done that, and you miss all the things that he's done well. But Matty Cash, let's face it, he hasn't got the manager hasn't gone over and beyond to replace Matty Cash, and for me that means he has absolute trust and faith in him. Otherwise, the bank would have had to be broken to bring in. Like, he spent 37 million on a left back with a great player like Luca Dean in there because he thought Luca Dean was either too old or he was shipping out. He hasn't done that with Matty Cash because he thinks he's good enough to play at that level. And I think, he divides the fan base. He annoys me at times. He has done in the past, but he's our best right back. He's one of our best. He's been one of our best players this season, I think. And I'm not just saying that. I do believe he's having an absolutely brilliant season, and I'm delighted for him. And what a ball for the goal, though. Oh,
I was just about to say, do you think he meant it? Because I started a comment up here, Paddy. This is from John Steele saying, any thoughts on some pundits calling Cash's pass a hit and hope? I don't know if you watched it. If you watched it more than Roy Keane. I don't know who said it. I like you, Paddy. I don't trust my opinion to be infallible, but I much prefer my own opinions and my opinions of my friends and the opinions of people that I trust a small bit more that actually watch Villa on a weekly basis than I do of punditry. So I'm muted at halftime. I'm muted at full, and I'm doing podcasts at full time, so I don't get to hear it. So I don't know who said it. But like, if you've watched that goal more than once, and not just in real time, if you watch that replay back, he's putting it in that area. Now, does he mean to put it on top?
I think I've seen that goal at least 100 times today.
Yeah, me too.
It's on everybody's story, not only Villa fan story. Yeah. That ball in slow motion it's wonderful. An unbelievable technique used to play that ball in. Whether he gets lucky with it landing right on the money, and let's face it, it wasn't even right on the money because Luca Dean had to take an unbelievable touch to take it down, followed by a lucky touch with the outside of his left foot to put it into the path of Emi Buendia. But I think he meant it. I think he saw an opportunity where there was two players in that position, and he went, you know what? Let's just try this and see. Like, we've seen these before, and they end up going out for a goal kick or going out into the corner for a throw in. And it could have very easily gone that way. But he was aiming to put that ball back into the danger zone where those two players had the overload, and look what came out of it. And sometimes we just have to try these things. How many times have we said that? Modern football doesn't allow you to try something different. So it was great to see something different. Even the Rodgers one, modern football is telling you, no, don't take on that shot. Take another 3 or 4 passes and try and work it in a bit better and get a better shot on it. But he's doing it, and he scores. And, Luca Dean, albeit like the touch, I believe Luca Dean's touch is equally as good as Matty Cash's pass.
And the flick back, and then the flick to Buendia, incredible.
The flick was probably to himself, but Buendia was on his toes and took it on. But the actual stopping of the ball was absolutely unbelievable. Like, it was better than any pass you'll ever see. So I think there's two of them that need a bit of credit. And bear in mind, Luca Dean has taken that ball down with that gash on his foot at that stage. So he is obviously in a bit of pain running around that pitch, but adrenaline is taking over, and he's done unbelievably well to take that ball down, get it to Buendia. Lovely forced touch from Buendia. Sets himself for the second one, bang for the third one. Just absolutely brilliant goal. Like, people, I saw a load of people saying goal of the season. It'd be very hard to beat that this year. Just from the 3 plays that are involved: the pass, the taking the ball down, and then Buendia just making space for himself, not panicking. And it wasn't even a rocket; it was just a pass the ball into the back of the net. Brilliant goal.
One of those brilliant ones where you use the defenders in front of you at the wrong
use a wall,
unsighted. Yeah. Fantastic goal, absolutely brilliant. And you mentioned about that gash and Luca Dean's leg, and the editor, whatever online editor of the Daily Fail, anyway, straight away put up the fan footage saying, "Oh, Luca Dean is not happy." Of course, he's not happy. He's a bloody 6-inch gash in his fucking leg, so that's why he isn't happy with it. For God's sake. And we all obviously now have to boo Kevin Danzo for time in memoriam as well, and
at least 17 years.
Just talk about what hard man we said is Emi Martin is going to beat shit out of him next time we play. I think that's the way it's done. I'm not 100% sure. Last word, Paddy, I suppose, was Aston Villa substitutes. I think we have to give them a big round of applause. I said it in my post match afterwards. The amount of touches, the amount of actual impact they had in the game. really refreshing to see, because Unai Emery at the start of last season, bringing on substitutes, massive impact. The year we got into Champions League, substitutes having a massive impact. That dropped off at the during the middle of last season, where subs weren't having that impact. Now we've had it again against Spurs. That's something this squad and this team needs, is to keep those substitutes hungry, keep the Buendias hungry. Like Watkins comes off the bench, he looked very hungry. He looked like Unai Emery even called him out as having a fantastic 20 minutes. Great to see that from the substitutes coming off the bench, I think.
Yeah, and look, we got ahead, and he brought on finishers in Matson and Barkley as well to see it out. Fresh legs. Barkley back after a long break. 2 cameos now against Burnley and Spurs. Great to see him back out there. And Matson with that fresh legs in defence as well. So you couldn't really argue. Ollie Watkins, as you said, did look up for it. He suddenly realised, hang on a minute, there's somebody looking for my short here, and I'm going to need to prove myself. And that's what we need. That's what we need. We need pressure on all the players. They'll all get a chance. Don't get me wrong. Like I would be very surprised if we don't see Barkley getting 70 or 80 minutes on Thursday. Just
Sancho
because
starts.
Pardon?
Sancho probably starts.
Who knows? Yeah,
I think the 4 Dutch guys play. So Bizat, Matson, Malin, and Bogard, I think all play. I think we will see a rotated team, but a team that's well capable of going out to Deventer and winning that game. And what is it, the 468 fans that are going out to the game? I think it's only 468 fans. Away fans will be there. I think so. I think Max Stokes said that on his vlog, his Spurs vlog today. That was only 468. So they're going to have to be loud and raucous and cheer on that team in that lovely small quaint stadium. So I did a piece with Michael Statham from Football Aranya podcast. I recorded it earlier today. It's going to be out tomorrow night, 9:30, where Michael gives us the lowdown on Go Ahead Eagles. And at the end, I turned into one of those lazy football pundits, and a bit of a spoiler. I said, I'm going to do one of those lazy football pundit pieces. And I said, you mean it sounds like the old Dell in Southampton, the old Dell that Southampton used to play at? One of those really tight, small grounds that it was tough to get into. Tough to get into, tough to get out of. Exactly. But it's not. It's supposed to be a lovely little stadium, and as I say, it's going to be a different experience for those travelling fans and the travelling players, I suppose, as they go to the Netherlands again on Thursday. Deadly stuff, Paddy. I think we're going to leave it at that, guys. This is I wanted to get Paddy's thoughts on it. Just run through those main things, and obviously get it. Have Neil and Paddy purchased a Claret membership this year? Is there anything noteworthy in this season's package? Thanks. I've purchased a Claret membership. Last year I purchased it as well. I didn't get any membership package, but I can't remember. So I never thought. So I don't know. I didn't get the thermos cup, but. That's nothing. That's not strange. I think I've said it about my postman. My postman, I think, is converting to being an Aston Villa fan. I chat with him every day, and every day he mentions Aston Villa to me, and he knows I do a Villa podcast. And he turns around to me and he says, "Yeah, I think Carlo Weather has nearly converted me into being a Villa fan." I was like, "I don't listen to the podcast, for God's sake! I'll convert you." Fair play to Alan there and Carlo Weather doing the God's work.
To answer in your head, change man's question. The packages haven't arrived as yet, and they arrive intermittently because some people renew throughout the year. So last year we have 2 Claret members in this house and 2 season ticket holders. We all got the same coffee cup, but I have to say it's the best coffee cup I ever have, and I could sell coffee cups with the amount of stuff that people have given over the years with free coffee cups. But the coffee cups that the Villa produced for season ticket holders and Claret members last year were sensational. I think from my point of view and from people that live here, they join as a Claret member in order to be able to purchase tickets, and that's the number one reason for it. But if you're further away. I don't know where you're from in your head change, man, but you're supporting the club first and foremost. You get the ability to buy tickets. You get access to Villa TV, as far as I know.
That's what I signed up for. It's for the
So
access to Villa
all
TV.
of these things, yeah, it's great to be able to watch matches back on Villa TV. It's definitely the best perk of it. If you're not within touching distance of buying tickets regularly, or even if you're buying tickets once a year, it's worthwhile having. But look, it's all about supporting the club. That, you know, there's a reason there's new gear coming out every 2 days, 3 days. The club needs to raise funds, and the Claret membership is as important, if not more important, than a season ticket, because it's just a valuable source of income to the club. I know they probably, you know, you probably get a tenner of it back in whatever you get from your present that comes once a year. But it's valuable to have for Villa TV and the option of buying a ticket if you get there. But not knowing where you're from, I can't make. And there's a few levels of it as well. There's a level where you can just buy access to Villa TV and stuff like that. So it's worth investigating. And if you do get one of those coffee cups, I think it was worth it last year.
And the great thing about Villa TV, and look, we're not just our opinion. The clubs certainly don't give us any kickback for this, but great thing about Villa TV for me is, you know, if you're stuck on a Wednesday or Thursday or Friday or something like that, even a Saturday morning, you get to watch the 18s, you get to watch the under 20, the under 21 teams, you get to watch, you know, you get to watch all those games as well on Villa TV, and you get to watch the women's as well if you want to watch them too. So you get bite-size highlights. You get just the goals, or you get the full 90 minutes as well. And all the commentary is done by the great Mark Regan and either Ian Taylor or Tony Daly or Brian Little.
Or Jed Steer.
Or Jed Steer. Yes, Jed Steer. Or Lee Hendry as well sometimes is with him. So, you know, you get proper commentary as well, which is good. I know a lot of people who might have trudged through the years of Jack Woodward previously. I liked Jack Woodward, but some people didn't like him as a commentator. But Jack, I got your back on this one, because you got me through an awful lot of games that I couldn't watch or that I couldn't get to. Listening to you on just the audio coverage on Aston Villa website as well. I can't even remember what it was called then, but it certainly wasn't called Villa TV, because it's just audio coverage. So which is great.
Before we go, Neil, there is some breaking news on the Villa front. Maccabi Tel Aviv fans will not be able to buy tickets to Aston Villa's match next month, Israeli club says. That's all the information we have. I don't know what context is behind that, whether they've decided not to sell them, whether there's been some decision made. But just thought I'd break that to you, considering we're just about to go. That's from Sky News as well, so it's you can be sure.
I don't even know what that means. I think that means it's just Maccabi just said we're not going to sell the tickets, and they've taken the decision out of everybody's hands.
Possibly.
Seems very strange. Much so. Seems strange, but look, it's as I said, for me the whole thing was people getting home safe, and I suppose there'll be more to be said on that. We'll see. I don't want to opine on it too much, from the simple fact that I presume we will get proper lines of communication from our club and from West Midlands Police and everybody else, as and when it breaks here as well. But look, it seems to be a solution to an ongoing what I call a political football that's been being juggled around for the last couple of days as well. So we'll see what more comes from that, and we see if there's any other ramifications or anything like that. If Maccabi Tel Aviv have.
I've just got the article here now as well. The well-being and safety of our fans is paramount, and from hard lessons learned, we have taken a decision to decline any allocation offered on behalf of away fans, and our decision should be understood in that context. So I'm sure there's more to it, but we won't go into it. The matter is now closed. I'm sure their behaviour over the weekend, having their derby game cancelled, hasn't softened anybody's opinion in the West Midlands Police, I would imagine. So decision is made, but I'm sure there will be more rhetoric and ramifications afterwards, but we'll just leave it at that for now, I think.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more said about that over the next hour or so. So I'm going to read a couple of articles before I do opine on something that is a complex and difficult issue. Or not a difficult one, but one that's been talked about an awful lot ad nauseum over the last 72 hours. Right, going to leave it at that, guys. Thanks so much, everybody. Paddy, I promised I'd have you out by 10 o'clock. Would have had you out by 10 o'clock unless if there wasn't breaking news. It's just gone 10:01 there. So we're going to leave it at that, guys. Thanks a million to everybody for watching and for listening. If there's any more on that, we will come with you with some of it. Come to you with some more on it tomorrow. Also tune in tomorrow evening 9:30 for a pre-recorded interview I have with footballer Anya's Michael Statham on Go Ahead Eagles as well, where we have a good chat on that. And then we're into Wednesday. Whatever else comes up, we'll probably be podcasting straight through here until the end of the week. So thanks a million for joining us. Stay safe, stay healthy, and all it is left to say is up the Villa.
Up the Villa.